September.
Okay, so Director Russell, with the dates that I came up with, June 2nd committee meeting, pass it out of committee, and the 3 readings would be June 9, June 23, and July 14. Do those dates seem correct?
Because July 14th, the 3rd reading is within the window. The window
Right.
opens on July 8th, closes on September 5th. Those dates would work perfectly.
And it's like the earliest date in that 120-day window,
Right.
as far as I can tell. Okay.
So the committee date would be June 2nd, first reading June 9th, second reading June 22nd, third reading July 14th. Is that what it says on the paper?
Yes.
Okay.
Does that sound?
And that's within the window. So
Okay.
that's for the passage. And goes back to the ability for a municipality to adopt a charter, which is in the Ohio Constitution. That's where it references the window for passage of an ordinance, opening and closing, and those are the dates.
Director Russell, would we have to have an emergency clause? That wouldn't be a part of it.
Well, I thought about that. I think it's important to include it on there. But the charter ordinance on the ballot itself is a referendum. So many times, council persons have said, if you include an emergency provision, you take away a voter's right to reverse the action of council. But if you think about it, this is actually an ordinance saying, let's let the voters decide. So it's kind of the opposite, a reverse referendum. So I would suggest you leave the emergency language on there, because either way, it's going to be on the ballot in November if everything's successful.
Okay. Thank you, Director Russell. Anything from the committee? Yes.
Yeah, Mr. Neff.
Mr. Chauber.
Law Director Russell, how did you come up with the July 8th date as the opening of the window? I missed that part, or?
Yeah, let me see if it'll click through.
Because
on
you have the September 5th date, and I don't know how you.
So remember, there's the
that.
60 and 120?
Yes.
So that for the passage of council's ordinance, pass the ordinance, that's the 60-20. It has to be within those dates.
What's
120
the start? Is it before the general, or is it 60, 120 days when it's before council?
So the ordinance has to pass within this window by council. Council has to act no sooner than 120 days before the election.
That's what I was
No
getting at.
later than 60 days before the election.
Okay.
So you got that window. You can't do it on the 121st day before the election, or you're too early.
You're too early. Okay, so that's where you came up with the July 8th date. That's 120 days prior to the general election.
Yes.
Okay, so, okay.
Which is November 4th, and then backtrack from November
Yeah.
4th to get those
Yeah,
dates.
and then the other date that we have to be mindful of is the date to get issues and whatever on the ballot, which is August something. But if we get it taken care of by July 8th or the 14th, we will be within that time, right?
I think the August deadline is for non-governmental entities for citizen initiatives.
You're all right. Everybody's right. Nobody's wrong then. The email I will forward in the morning to each council person, administrator, and the clerk has it from last Friday. It has the Ohio Questions and Issues Handbook from the Secretary of State, page 76, and it has the 60-120, and it has everything related to, as the clerk just pointed out, this is different than issues, because you were talking about issues. Get it? What issues? The issues deadline. A charter amendment is actually a whole different thing itself, and that's why the filing deadline with the Board of Elections is no earlier than 120 before the election, no later than 60 before the election. So you'll have these materials in the morning, and Mr. Nett's calendar works perfectly with the June 2nd committee sending it on to council. We should have the timing correct.
Okay. Just as long as we got a solid plan and the dates all lined up, because the last go-around, the dates were a stickler for us, so.
Right, and I think I will still try to work with Director Russell, and I'll reach out to the Board of Elections, but this seems like the correct dates. And it also gives us the most time in that window
To argue
to
for
sell
against.
this to the voters of the city. So
Okay.
that seems like the best
That
course.
brings me into my question, if you don't mind. Are we sure that a presidential election year isn't the best place to do this? Because the majority of the voters are not going to be out voting before then.
Okay, well, that's a valid point, I would say, to a degree, but what I would say is that the vote this November is just a question, yes or no. The real question, if the voters say yes, move forward, the charter question goes on next year's election, which is a gubernatorial election. So I'm just going to say there's a lot more turnout for a gubernatorial election than it will be this year for the municipal election. So we're not getting the presidential election, but I don't think the charter question needs to wait for that 4-year window.
Okay, so this is
So-
just a question of, does the city want the charter? Yes or no?
Does the city want to move forward and elect a commission to write a charter? The charter is written, it comes back to us, we take it to the voters. The voters have the opportunity to debate and decide on that charter that was written by the commission, and then that second vote in the next year is when that question is answered by the voters. So really, the first question is, should we pursue the question of the charter? And then the gubernatorial election is when we'll have a large section of voters out. Yeah.
And Craig, 365 Solution. I just want to make sure I understood what you just said. So this year, we would be deciding if we wanted a charter? No.
We'll be asking the voters if they want to elect a commission to write a charter,
Would we be electing the commission at the same time?
That's correct.
possibly.
Yes.
So, 60 days from the date that they first committee, and so it has to go on the ballot 60 days before the ballot, is that what I'm getting? 60 days before
Yes.
election day, it has to be on.
It has to move, city council has to approve the legislation.
Okay, and
For
in
the charter.
September, we would have to have it to the Board of Elections, is that correct?
As soon as we would pass it, as
You
soon
would
as it
send
would
it
pass
out,
by
right?
council, we would send it across the street in that 100-day, 120 to 60-day window.
Okay.
We would send it
So
across.
we're talking like
the Board of
July,
Elections.
before it could possibly go over there. I think that's what you said, the last date would be
Well,
July.
the dates that we had for the third reading would be on July 14th.
Okay.
That's when council would have the third reading.
Okay. And it
Whether
would
or
pass or
not,
fail, and if it passed, then it would go across the street. So like, beginning of August, we could say the 21st, the 25th or something. Because isn't it like 15 people that would need to be on the charter? So we would need, in theory, to get 15 people also to run.
15 people for the commission, yes, they would have to circulate petitions, just like we do for city council. I think the requirement would be 25 signatures
Okay.
to get on the ballot in November to become a member of the charter commission.
Okay. So would it really be 2 questions then that we want charter and?
Yes, there are
Okay.
2 questions.
Okay.
They'd both be in the November election. Yes or no,
And then
move
who do we
forward
want?
with the charter, and who are the 15 people on the commission?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
That makes, thank you.
Seems like it would be smart to do one and then the other, but
Yeah, because if the charter question fails, then the 15 people, it's,
Pointless.
yeah.
Correct.
And by the people that want to be on the commission, they also have till Friday, September 5th. So July 14th, that could, so if there is an emergency clause on it or not, theoretically, July 15th, if it passes council, people can start circulating a petition.
The Board of Elections will have to give you the ultimate answer as far as too early for circulating petition, but there's plenty of time to have 25 signatures for a single candidate to be on the commission to be filed by September 5th.
Okay, so that
You
gives
pretty much have all of August and September.
all of August and the first 5 days of September.
Well, I'll just put out there, but between now and the June 2nd committee meeting, I will try and get some answers from the Board of Elections for those specific questions as far as the petitions for the commissioners. And what the if the legislation, how it looks, and when it has to be over there, and I mean, literally how we're going to deliver it and all those sort of
Yeah,
things.
and also could you ask what the Board of Elections will charge the city to put that on
Sure.
the ballot?
This is a municipal election?
Yeah.
They should tell you there is no cost.
No. So last year or 2 years ago, the Board of Elections got an answer to a question that they can start charging the city. So don't say anything too loud.
It's too late.
Yeah. They can charge us for our elections.
I'll tell them.
I know. I mean, we're not streaming today, are we?
I will ask those questions,
Yeah.
yes.
burning watches.
Yeah.
Anything else on this matter? We're going to move on to item number 2, legislation, the bonding of the auditor's office.
Ordinance amending Chapter 149.01 of the Marion City Code to require certain employees to have sufficient surety bonds and declaring an emergency. This was on the agenda from the last meeting. I don't know if Director Cowell has an update or not.
Director Cowell, do you have anything for us?
I turned all the information over to Councilman Barr, with who at this time was bonded, what the cost was. I think those are the sheets you have in front of you, and what the cost was going to be if we decided not to bond some people and just carry them on our liability policy and increasing the coverage to either 250,000 or 100,000. But it has to be blanket. You can't do some at one amount and others at the other amount when it comes to the liability, like you have that option to do with the bond.
If I may ask Mr. Cowell a question?
Sure.
Councilor Shaw.
Or maybe it's Mark Russell, I don't know. So what's the difference between a bond for, like the auditor, or I believe the mayor and the treasurer has to have a bond, and this $100,000 dishonesty coverage? Is there a difference?
That was one of the questions I posed to our liability carrier, and she said in essence, they're the same thing.
They are the same thing. So we're not losing anything by going the route of getting dishonesty coverage at $100,000.
Other than right now, we're only covered at 50,000.
Right, yeah, so we're gaining 50,000 and,
If you decide to up that coverage, there is a cost involved.
and that cost is,
To go, she told me to go just to 100 would only cost us an additional $100. Our
per person?
no, overall, the cost for our liability, because it's not done by person when it's covered under liability, it's not by person like it is with a bond. It's a blanket for every employee of the whole city. Right now, everybody in the employee of the city is covered at $50,000
For dishonesty.
dishonesty.
So your claim would have to do with something to do with dishonesty.
So there is a difference between a bond and this dishonesty thing.
I haven't done enough research to give you the 100% response, but from a legal perspective, I feel a lot more comfortable requiring the bond in the kind of schematic that we have, because we've recovered against bonds. We know what that's about. But what I heard the key coverage is for an employee dishonesty, theft, things that are along those lineages.
Mm-hmm.
And so bonds can cover a lot more than that. And just
Depends on how
dishonesty,
they're written.
yeah. Right.
Amy Craig 365 Silver Street. Fidelity bonds, which is typically what people who handle money have. Fidelity bonds cover mistakes, errors, that sort of thing. Whatever you guys just said, what was it? The criminal or employee dishonesty, that's for
Yeah.
intentional, not mistakes.
We also have error coverage too in our liability policy.
May, Chair.
Yes.
Does everybody on this list actually, like, is there the potential for every single person on this list to have that amount of money, like, at their fingertips? I mean, why are we covering some people if there's no chance that they're ever even gonna touch money? We don't know that?
You guys will have to answer.
Okay. Does everybody on this list handle our city money, or the city money?
So, Chair, if I may.
Yes,
So-
Mr. Schauber.
Oh, Mayor, you probably remember this better than I do. What, 10 years ago, utility building, we had $30,000 taken? Was it 50? So, I mean, there's a possibility of that happening for sure. I just don't want to chase after that increased coverage potential for just $100 bills and expose ourselves to something else because we get blinded by a savings. So if we're fine, if our law director thinks we're covering our rear ends okay, then I don't have a problem with it.
One thing I haven't heard, and maybe probably not that easy to figure out, from this schematic that we're looking at on the draft, it appears the costs associated with those bonds are, call it $3,000. Is that how everybody reads that? So for 1 year, to have all those employees bonded at the higher amounts that are in this schematic, it appears the sum of cost is 3,000?
Are you looking at the
Or is it-
$28.99?
Or is it 5? Is it those added together? It must be 5. So that must be, it must cost the city $5,000 annually for these bond amounts, according to this material that someone else put together, as opposed to the insurance. Has anybody told about what the insurance cost would be if we went with insurance coverages on?
They told me to go to $250 for everybody, was gonna be $6,000. I think that's on one of the sheets I gave you, that I gave Councilman Barr. And then just that it also would increase your copay, your deductible from.
Yeah, on this email, the deductible goes from $250 to $2,500.
Correct.
From 50 to 250.
That's to cover everybody in the city at 250,000.
Yes.
To cover everybody in the city at 100,000, they tell me it's only gonna cost an additional $100, which doesn't make sense, but those are the quotes that I got.
An additional $100, but your deductible from $250 increases to $1,000
Correct.
on $100,000 coverage.
Anything else from the committee? I'm actually struggling to find the legislation that we're trying to work on right now. I got my papers on.
It seems to me that the bonds would be the safer route to go, better protection for the city as well. Is that how you see that, Mr. Cowan?
I do, but that's why I try to get you guys as much information as I can find, because it's up to the legislative body to decide who they want bonded and at what price. It's not the administration's responsibility to do that.
That's part of the problem. We don't have legislation authorizing any of these people to vote, other than the auditor, the treasurer, and the mayor.
The wishes of the committee. Where are we at right now? That's still not the right paperwork, Matt.
Yeah.
That's
I don't have
that's
any
the one.
legislation with either.
That's the last one the law director sent me. The newest. Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. That's the wrong ordinance.
So I would say, since it's 20 till 10, let's do this again.
I'm fine with that.
Because, I mean, we can rack our heads, and do we just want to send something out?
If there's more questions you'd like for me to try to get answered between now and then, I'll try to do that, but I don't know what other questions.
So the original intent was to specifically name who we wanted to bond of this legislation with a dollar amount,
And have it in the city code.
and have it in the city code. That was our original intent.
Yes.
So if this committee and the chair is okay with that, could we send something out naming who we want to be bonded with a dollar amount right now? So we can actually accomplish something?
I clicked through on tonight's agenda, and that looks like the one Mr. Barr sent to me, and I made some adjustments, and Mr. Pollock had sent out before the last committee. I think, to me, it appears it's ready to go on to council, but again, if you want to keep it in committee, that's okay too. But the one that was attached to the agenda that I clicked through on the calendar looks like the updated one.
My
have
iPad, my iPad isn't clicking today. I turned mine in. So,
That's the most important part.
so this is the chart is the ordinance.
Yeah, essentially.
Okay,
All right,
because
then
I was
explain why I
looking for
can't
something
find an
that,
ordinance.
The ordinance
It's not in the right
is on
form.
both sides of that iPad chart.
and then what's on your iPad is what it's going to.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Barr, you was copied in all this. Are you the one bringing this forward? I move that we send this on to council with the recommendation to approve. It's 9:41. Let's do something.
For Ford City Council. Just trying to clear up, we had all the, the kerfluffle of finance chair not being bonded, and, there's gonna be no RC says that we should state who and how much somebody should be bonded for before the auditors authorize to even do that. So that's why I brought this forward, so we kind of clear that up, get this in our own language and our own council rules, or however you want to call it, and that's the only reason why I brought this forward, so we can kind of iron this out.
Yeah, and I remember now, yeah. So I made the motion to send this on to council with a recommendation to approve.
I'm going to second.
Okay, good, we're gonna accomplish something tonight, aren't we?
Clerk, could you please take roll?
Mr. Neff?
Yes.
Mr. T. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Schauber?
Yes.
We're on to new business, item number 3, legislation 5, rule 3.
Ordinance amending chapter 111.01, motions, C, rule 3 of the codified ordinance of the city of Marion.
So looking at the ordinance, rule 3, we're striking out some language that says at an hour set by council, and instead it says on January 1st at noon for the organizational meeting. So that's all this piece of legislation is doing.
It seems simple enough, but I can always find a way to get down in the weeds. Rule 3 is meetings, regular meetings. A January 1 meeting is a special reorganizational meeting. Does that carry any merit? That will confuse anything? Or is this just simply stating a date?
I would say that was already written in there. It says the council following its election shall hold its first meeting. So,
Okay.
I mean, that's setting the first meeting, so.
The ORC says January 1st at 10 a.m., and I don't think we've ever done that.
It's always been...
Noon.
Okay,
I'll make a motion, we send on to council with a
Second.
recommendation to approve.
Clerk, could you please take roll?
Mr. Neff?
Yes.
Mr. T. Smith?
Yes.
yes.
Mr.
yeah,
Schauber.
Yes.
Item number 4, legislation 6, rule number 4.
No, it's the quarter time.
Clerk, could you please read?
Ordinance amending chapter 111.01, motions, F, rule 6 of the codified ordinance of the city of Marion.
Is this changing the, sorry, Chair, is this changing the layout of our actual agenda?
Hopefully it will. What's in there originally, we aren't using.
Okay. This is what it was.
How did you get it on 2 separate pages?
Did you not?
No, mine's not back.
You can look at mine too.
I think you might have ended up with my copy.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. I don't know how that happened, but.
Anything from the committee on this?
9 and 10, are they even needed?
Reports of offices, commissions.
On the original agenda, where introduction and recognitions of persons and groups visiting council. So as I read that, we have a new visitor, so this is my Baptist church coming out at me. We have a new visitor, so everyone stands up, welcomes them, and shakes their hand. Is that what we're going to do?
I hope not.
I'm not.
And then item 10 is introduction and recognition of persons desiring to address council on any,
Subject not on the agenda.
yeah, so
I would.
will that lead to us having a sign-in for people to speak? Because we've never done that either.
That doesn't seem to be in this.
I think number 10 is more along the lines of your name, your address, and you're recognized in order to speak and address the council on matters not on the agenda.
I would assume number 9 is just like when MLK group came to discuss with us, like they would get recognized by the chair or whoever, President Stoneburner at the time. That's how I read that.
It could also be, the mayor is doing a proclamation and someone's coming to get something. Or, God, I'm about to show my age, back in the day when I came up here, when I was in the Boy Scouts, they recognized a lot of us in the back of the room. And
Well, we can let all council see it. I'll make a motion to send it on to council.
I will second. Clerk, could you please take roll?
Mr. Neff?
Yes.
Mr. T. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Schauber?
Now,
Really, you're gonna confuse me already?
Okay, was that item 4?
Yes, it was.
Okay, on to matters not on the agenda. Anything from the committee?
I do have something. I will promise to try to keep this quick and brief. I have several items, but I'm only going to do one that's most important, and that's the grass area at Garfield School. I asked about it last week. No one knew anything about it. I did some digging, come to find out. It's a project headed up by Coach Kearns, and the city did in fact was aware of it in October, November time, and gave the city blessing to do what they're doing. So my question tonight is, can they do what they're doing? And what I understand, they're going to plant wildflowers that'll grow between 2 and 4 feet tall. And will that be in conflict with any of our tall weeds and grass issues? And I'm looking at the law director, and he's not wanting to speak.
Well, has the administration been involved? I mean, you mentioned,
So I asked-
from the city schools.
So I asked last week, and no one knew anything about it. Kearns said that Mr. Bodine did give him,
I'll talk about
okay.
it. Yeah, I mean, last fall, he called and asked, hey, we want to put a garden or some sort. It was very little detail, something they were planning on doing. I'm like, is it on your property? That sort of thing. I did not know hardly any details at the time, and I said, I don't see why not. Then all of a sudden, it became a red hot issue last week, and that's when I found out that possible fall weeds, pheasants forever, all this other stuff going on with it. None of that stuff was mentioned in the beginning.
Okay.
I know that the safety director has been taking the lead with Sean Kearns.
So what, will they be in violation if it's an area that's allowed to grow 2 to 4 foot tall? And how deep is, I believe the school has the seed already ordered. They've already sprayed that field.
Where's the field?
Like the dead end of Rosewood, Brentwood,
Yeah.
in there in Garfield School.
Have you asked the city to hit the pause button?
So that's my, I hear you whisper, or not whispering, speaking softly about hitting the pause button. That's what I'm trying to get out of somebody with position of authority. Because I talked to Kearns and he is full steam ahead, he's going. Seeds on order.
Yes, I did get a chance to talk to him, saying that I talked to some residents over there on the dead end streets, and Sean called me back. He had interviews, called me back about 6:30 or 7 that night. Sean Kearns, Coach Kearns, and I said, we need to slow down a little bit and talk this through. I said, I think we may be able to come up with a solution, but by reading the code, I mean, it would be in violation of the high grass.
Okay. So Kearns is trying to organize a meeting tomorrow, 7:30 at Garfield Elementary. Is it Garfield Elementary?
Yeah.
Yes, Garfield Elementary, and he's going to present the project that they want to do. But we, as a city, we need to come up with a plan whether we're going to allow it or what oversight we're going to put on this, because if it is in fact in violation with the tall weeds and grass code, we have to do a little bit more than go to his meeting tomorrow. So I don't know what we do. I plan on attending that meeting. What can I tell him?
If you don't mind me asking, what are they saying they're planning on using the property for? Pheasants forever? Like, is it hunting ground? Or
No,
just,
so this,
like,
as
They
Kearns,
said like a butterfly garden or something.
as Kearns explained to me, it will be seeded with wildflowers.
Beautiful.
And, right, and the idea is to be a pollinator's garden, is what they're calling it. And he will have mowed, maintained paths all through this, I want to say it may be 4 acres. Yeah, 4 or 5 acres. And
And are we against this?
Can I ask a question? So I'm just learning this evening, and also, is this a school site that was formerly agricultural zoned land that
Yes.
came into the city when the school building was built?
yes,
So we kind of got previous agricultural zoned areas. This is immediately adjacent to the existing school, but we
yes,
also have residences that may be close to it too.
right.
So
And
just-
in the marked off area that's already been sprayed and killed. So the city schools owns probably right up to the end of the concrete on Brentwood and Rosewood. That's where their property lines are. I mean, it's really close. But they, trying to be good neighbors, they backed that up probably 50, maybe 60 feet. And so that's where they're going to start it,
Where they killed the grass.
where they killed the grass. So they are attempting to give some buffer, but
Do we know how the neighbors, just tomorrow night's meeting to talk with neighbors?
tomorrow night's meeting is for the city schools to talk with neighbors to explain the project.
Why don't we just let them share their input and pick it up after they've shared their input, now that we're all becoming aware of what the issue is? Probably my best advice.
In my opinion, I personally welcome you, because I believe we might attend the meeting tomorrow night, but I urge you to come up and talk to us and figure out a solution. Like I said, when this was presented to us, it was like not what it's kind of developed into, and this was last year.
And that-
So I think Rob working on it is looking for a solution that is best for the residents as well as the school. So hopefully together, I would invite you, I'm sure Rob would as well, to come up with us and help us do that solution.
I think the initial fear when they saw Pheasants Forever out there spraying, it was gonna be the 8-foot high, like prairie grass.
Right,
was the initial fear
yeah.
from the residents. So
And-
this
and-
might be something that's a little more palatable, I guess.
Yeah.
for
And-
residents.
A lot of the angst or animosity or whatever you want to call it was because there was a sprayer showing up killing grass. They didn't flag it appropriately, and it's pheasants forever. So then they start filling in gaps. Pheasants Forever is doing this. Now we're going to have pheasants, which is hawk and eagle food and coyote food, and tall 2 foot, 4 foot, whatever is going in there, tall weeds. That's rabbit habitat, and that's snacks for coyotes. And we already have coyotes close to that area anyways. So there's a lot of questions that need to be filled in.
I just was sent an article by the best regional planning, a lady ever. Something, I guess Columbus has regulations on special permits for using pollinator gardens, that sort of thing. That may be something we want to look into with this conversation.
And I believe, Mark could help me on my memory, but Lynn Clayball, he owns all that ground, or most of it along Campbell Road, and a little portion of it, maybe 2 or 3 acres, pops into the corp limits.
Yeah.
Don't we pass a resolution each year or every so many years for him to be allowed to conduct agricultural activities?
It has to do with his CAUV, so he gets to have us act annually or every 2 years.
Yeah.
So he can get the proper tax benefits, so, yeah, we've been doing that for 20 years.
Okay.
But I would just be going back to what is it zoned, because the school would have bought that land, brought it into the city, built the building. I can't, as I sit here, tell you what it's zoned, so I would look at the zoning for it.
So does zoning have any effect on whether it's permissible?
Yes, that's the first place I would look. But it sounds like there's a great plan to come together tomorrow night to talk with residents. Maybe the residents would be greatly in favor of it, but it's good they're going to get together, hear what it is, and then give some input to you as a representative and share with us so we can make the decisions we need to make going forward.
Okay, and this is a last question, and it's a what-if question. So if it's deemed wrong zoning, that's 2 to 4 foot, whatever, can't be planted there, since the city did give a blessing, who would be on the hook for whatever they spend?
We'll cross that bridge when we get to that bridge.
Okay.
I don't think zoning can regulate agriculture in Ohio.
Mr. Smith?
Because it would fall into the category of
I've just been receiving several emails regarding like code violations and trash and just stuff like that. And Mr. Cowles helped me out on a couple of different occasions, and I appreciate that. Same as you, Mr. Bodine. But I am curious. We only have one city code officer, Mr. Dan Ice. Is that correct?
He's our
Compliance officer. That's what I mean. So he goes out and knocks on the door. And is there room for potentially another one of those officers, or?
I can keep 3 of them in.
Right. Well, that's what I mean. Is there room in the budget for more of those?
That'd be a Tasty question, not
Yeah.
a Miranda question.
And then I guess the other the other question would be, how does what does that process look like? Because someone emailed me back and said that Mr. Ice had been out to a particular property at least twice. So after the second, third time that they go out there with a complaint, what happens after that?
Nothing.
It depends on the situation.
Understood. Situational based.
Just information, not only is there Patrolman Dan Ice, who is within the police department as a compliance officer, you also have the zoning inspector / compliance officer. So don't forget Zach Himmler, who's also a point of contact. So if you receive a code complaint or accumulated trash, make sure you involve Zach in the email, because the safety director has been working hard to try to streamline the prior processes. We've got a great new form for both Patrolman Ice and Zach Himmler to use. As far as the notification form, it's no more go out to the property, look at it, go back to the office, prepare the notice that's required by code. it's in the vehicles available to them. So we've worked hard together to try to expedite this. But, so the important thing is, when you share an address, make sure you include Himmler, ICE, the safety director, and myself, so that we can continue to coordinate and focus on it, make sure that something's happening.
For sure, okay. Well, and I appreciate that clarification. So on some of these properties that have gotten multiple citations and stuff, or complaints, are we gonna start sending them summonses and so on and so forth?
We're working hard to streamline that, yes. If the resident, the responsible party, fails to clean up the accumulated refuse and they've gotten the proper notice, they will be appearing in this court having received a summons from the law director's office in a prosecution case.
Okay,
So
thank you.
yeah.
Appreciate
And
it.
that's 10 to 14 days after they're given official notice.
Yeah, we'll give you the form. I actually included the days on it.
Some of them are 10, some of them are 14.
Yeah.
Oh, it depends on what it is.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for the clarification.
But if it's tall grass, it would go to Amy O'Connor.
Right, and there's no notification on that, right? There's no official notification on the tall
Sign on
grass?
the door.
Yeah.
I never
Just a
Naomi
sticker.
Craig, 363 Silver Street. Okay, so you just said it depends on the violation, how long they have to correct it. 30 days, 60 days?
I can email you the form. The form actually has it.
If you would. I will tell you that the health department is good about getting on things too. I've had more success with the health department throughout the years than I have the city.
Yeah, you're
But
lucky.
I am lucky, is that what you said? They hate tires, so if you have tires, the health, in
Mhm.
the property, they will come out for tires for sure. But I'm just, I disagree with 30 days, whatever thing, because I've got a situation right down there that's been that way for a month, and I know you guys have done some stuff about it, but, I mean, there's actually a house next to me that's stolen my water meter, it's stolen my electric meter, I know it doesn't have any sewer because I cambered the sewer because we were gonna purchase it, it's right next to the property that we own. I know that people are throwing raw sewage into the backyard. I actually had to, they were tearing my wooden fence down and burning it, for heat. So we just took the whole wooden fence down and put up a metal fence. And then that leads me back to what Mayor Collins said earlier, when the police are out doing their thing and nobody's downstairs because they're busy fighting crime. We actually had an officer come to our house that day over that situation, when the meth heads threatened to FR everything we owned up, burn our house down. They threatened my son, and the officer wouldn't even take a report because it wasn't worth his time. And I do have the screenshot of that and the report.
Any other matters not on the agenda?
I move we adjourn.
We're adjourned 10:03.
One more.
That's your only our state.
Yes. Is it just me? Rollins, I thought you was on vacation.
That's what I thought.
That's why you're in finance. Well, someone said that you and Twyla were on vacation, and that's why we wouldn't have finance.
Nobody wishes he was on vacation.
Yeah, I do now.
Come on, Ron. We're waiting on you.
What do we do?
Is there a cot up here that I can sleep on tonight?
No.
By the bed first, just stay there all night.
I have run into people sleeping on the chairs down in the police station.
Oh, an old holding cell or something I could.
Bringing in 2 sandwiches for breakfast in the morning.
Is this down the way? Is this what he was talking about?
Yeah, it's over by the
Are they ready? Yep. All right, at 10:04 PM, the Zoning and Annexation Committee meeting is now in session.
Mr. Prater,
I am here.
Mr. Rollins. Present. Mr. Schauber.
Here.
All right, then, right now we're at our summary of proceedings. Has
I move we
everybody?
approve as submitted.
Oh, we got it. Second.
Mr. Prater.
What's that?
Mr. Prater.
Yes.
Mr. Rollins.
Yes.
Mr. Schauber.
Yes.
All right. Now we're at the summary of proceedings. Has everyone read it? And
Summary of proceedings is done.
We just approved it.
Okay, I tell I'm half asleep, dude. All right, old business, we have none, and new business, we have the proposed 777 East Center Street rezoning PDF.
Application from Gregory Rumpel to rezone 777 East Center Street from an OIA to a C5.
All right.
Is this just one lot, or is it that three lots that,
No.
there are three blocks that was discussed?
No, planning
So it's
commission
just-
hasn't heard that one yet.
Where's the closest C5 to this? Is there anybody?
A couple doors down.
Okay.
In fact, I forgot to bring my staff report.
I have a staff report here for you.
With the map on it.
Pretty sure maps.
Oh,
On the map, yeah.
I was pulling it up on mine.
Yeah. I got a map.
Oh. No,
No.
How do you have all that information?
I'm trying.
Huh?
I don't have that information.
You don't have all this? Yeah. Not important enough.
Because it's on the website, that's all right.
I got a bunch
Yes.
of copies of Rob Cal's email.
That's the wrong committee. That's,
I got maps and everything.
Oh, wait a minute, you have, look at the next page.
Oh, I got
you got
special stuff.
You got something, but it's not in color, so you're not, I can't see
Oh,
my,
yeah, I can see none of that crap.
because that's, let me,
Am I supposed to have all this stuff?
Yeah, you
or-
should,
Okay.
that's the stuff.
All right. See?
Yeah.
But,
Might you keep me nothing?
'cause I didn't-
Yes, that's,
I didn't have
that's
nothing
been
either,
the
so-
trend for months.
I can. I got a lot
I
of
gave you the
stuff.
same thing I got, which isn't much of nothing, so.
I can share what documents I have.
Yeah.
All right. But you got them.
I got them. I got it right
it's
here.
just not in color. So, to answer your question.
I'm sorry.
So I guess my question, the point of my questioning is, there was a desire to change those three blocks to R3 or R2 or residential or whatever it is, away from the OIA. Are we getting in a position, because I don't have a map, of spot zoning?
yes, this one would be, and I apologize, it's really small here, but the applicant in question is the one that has.
Highlighted.
The
Mhm.
highlighted, okay. So immediately to their west is C5. They are in that beginning of that OIA stretch, and then it begins again, C5. So if this consideration is for that one parcel. You know, it is the fourth parcel away. So, I mean, maybe the consideration, if we were to amend anything, would be to
To get
consider,
whole block.
well, at least till him, you know,
Yeah,
get
those
everybody
three
in
in
between,
between. Mhm.
and then it lines up with what's across the street.
So you're saying that the thing would be to take those 3 blocks that Mr. Neff was talking about and
Well, right now, we're discussing
the
just
the
these-
777.
Yeah, just his application is here, but you see, he's the last one here, so 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe the consideration have those 4, then that district ends
Yeah.
on both sides of the street at the same spot. Then the remainder of what Mr. Neff was referring to here in the OIA.
Yes.
That come maybe at a late date for
At later.
to either keep as is or rezone to R2,
R2.
which is what a lot of the residential districts around it are also.
So they just want to change it to the
Right now-
C5 to get their tattoo place.
Correct.
Got it.
Now, the request for C5 is because that is what is similar to what is around it. They could get away with a lower district like C1, which allows for salons. They also have a potential option, since they are on a major thoroughfare, even if it is a home, there are, if you were the Board of Appeals, I believe, as a conditional use
to have the, either a salon or in this case, a tattoo shop and still keep the, well, the only thing is this, that's usually for a residential. I think that doesn't apply to the OIA. Those salons and those sorts of uses are not listed in the OIA. So, in terms of the zoning code,
Yeah.
we have the residentials 1, 2, and 3. Then we have OI, OIA. Then we begin higher up with C1 through 5. So the problem is, in their current district, that's one of them that doesn't actually allow it. You could have it in the lesser district, you have residential with a conditional use, and you can get headed above it, but right now it seems as though they can't have it in the front zone. So that's what they were gonna request, just go for growth, go for C5, which is what's nearby, and that will allow anything to a certain extent.
So you're saying that it would be, the best proposal would be to change it to a C5? Even though you
So
said,
that is hardly any reason to have it anything less than that, because it's.
yeah, it makes sense.
Here, everything else, for consistencies. But what came up at city planning, although this came out recommended 5-0 in favor, was that at this point, we also do need to really just look at that whole area for a variety of reasons. One, for the commercial use, since it's kind of wedged between two rather generous commercial districts. And the other, since that happens to be still very residential in character. So it really kind of needs to be looked at as a whole district.
Okay. Go ahead, Mike.
Mike Neff, City Council at Large. That whole block has been unproductive for at least 30 years, that entire block. So, like it or not, there's going to be a tattoo parlor in there. That building's been empty for 25 years, so there's going to be some business in there. And so that's a good thing. But earlier this evening, the property owner of the 3 properties to the west, which I think Evelyn was just showing you and you were asking about, those have been unproductive properties too, for as long as I can remember. The owner of those properties was here earlier this evening, and he can't hear what we're saying, so he has a hard time hearing everything, so he gets frustrated with the meeting because he literally can't hear. But he would like for his 3 properties to be pulled into that C zone. It would actually make a lot of sense, and then that C zone would line up, and then go into the east, we're back into the other disputed zone where I live.
Got it.
But it makes a lot of sense to me if those 4 properties were brought into the C zone, then maybe they can become productive for the city, for the citizens, for everyone, because they're completely unproductive properties now.
Evelyn, is that something that we can amend, or does that have to come from a recommendation from city planning? To include those, because we don't have an applicant.
Yeah, you gotta have an application.
Right.
Okay.
We have to have- yeah.
So,
Because joining in a budding property owners have to get notification. Unless we were doing 10 or more parcels, then we just can put it in the newspaper without those individual
Okay.
notifications.
So just, and this is a little bit off topic, but the subject of the OIA, just to the east of there, talking about submitting an application. Sean wanted to work with me on that, and that's Mr. Barr, and actually reached out to Evelyn and got the paperwork and all that stuff, but I'm not spending $350 to rezone my property. You guys said OIA, deal with it, so I'm not spending $350 to do that. I simply won't do that. I'll move out of the city before I do that. To rezone it back to an R occupancy. I'm not gonna do that.
If, just a question that comes to my mind, if the city planning is planning our city,
They can initiate.
okay, they can initiate it, and those fees should not fall on the individual, right?
Correct.
So how do,
I mean, if that's what you want, I mean, we could see if city planning would initiate rezoning, maybe the whole stretch.
That-
those
yeah.
three properties
Plus the
and-
commercial
and-
ones.
and, basically a big map amendment for that whole region.
Yeah. Because that's what, that's what I think city planning purpose is to plan the city.
Yeah.
And if they see that something's zoned incorrectly or needs to be changed, they should initiate it instead of leaving. Because if it's just Mr. Neff, sounds like just his spot or whoever's spot will be zoned because he is the sole applicant.
Chairman?
Yes, go ahead, Mr. Neff.
It is really getting late and I'm losing it here a little
Yeah.
bit. But yes, I think zoning that area to C5.
Okay.
That's
Yeah,
C5. Those 4 properties would be in the best interest of the city.
And hopefully, city planning will initiate the C5 block as well as the residential block. And I will move that we send this on to council with the recommendation.
I will
Second, you can second it.
Yeah, I will second that, but I'd like to just make one edit that,
Also 0-0.
yeah, it says 0-0 vote, it should be 5-0 according to Evelyn.
Yes.
So if we could get that changed, otherwise I'm good with it.
I would show you, but I've lost it in my stack of stuff.
All right, so we have, waiting on that.
Mr. Prater,
Yes.
Mr. Rollins,
Yes.
Mr. Schaub.
Yes.
All right. That we're moving that on to council. Matters not on the
I
agenda.
have nothing.
What's that?
I have
Hit your
nothing.
gavel, adjourned at 10:17.
We're out of here.
Almost like we had a hospital to discuss.
Yeah, don't ask for that stuff anytime soon, I took it all in the basement.